welcome to my art studio and welcome to this video where I share art wisdom, art ideas, experience from my art making to hopefully help you on your art making journey. Today I wanted to talk about what I believe to be true about art making, and I want to talk about my manifesto, upside down. I want to talk about my art making manifesto and really share this idea with you because it's been a really helpful idea for me and I think it could be a helpful idea for you too. I made lots of notes and thought quite deeply about what I believed to be true when it came to my own art making. What I did was I summarised it into my own personal art making manifesto. Your art manifesto may not have any of these things on it. The idea is to synthesise, to distill, to think about and write down some helpful guiding principles about your own art making, and then to have those principles easily accessible when you need a reminding of what you believe. I spent a little bit of time really trying to unpick and articulate to myself what I believed about my own art making, and I find it really helpful to remind myself of what I believe when I'm in one of those funks, or I don't know what I'm doing, or I just need to give myself a bit of a pep talk. I find that just reminding myself of some of the things that I believe to be true is very helpful. I have got 9 points on my art making manifesto. You may have less, may have more. And when I first wrote this out, it was really long-winded. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to try and make it succinct, punchy, snappy, going to bring a bit of marketing pizzazz to my personal manifesto. So here goes. The first point is make more art. The more art I make, the more ideas I have. And so sometimes when I'm in a bit of a rut and I'm thinking, what should I do? Taking a bit of action, doing something is often the key for me in terms of opening a doorway, finding a spark, finding a thread to pull on. So make more art. So my second point is sketchbooks are magic. And I really do believe this to be true. Sketchbooks have been life-changing for me, actually. It's where I have found out who I am as an artist, tried lots of things out, explored, experimented, and I really think that sketchbooks have been the birthplace and the wellspring of all of my creativity. So I'm super passionate about sketchbooks. So sketchbooks are magic. I have very recently just put together a free class for the folk on my email list all about mixed media sketchbooks and sharing some simple and interesting mixed media processes and techniques. So I'll pop a link below this video. It's a free class. All you have to do is put your email address in and I'll send it to you. And people have said it's really helpful. So if you are wanting to reignite your sketchbook love, you might want to take a look at that. My third sort of guiding principle is that everyone's an artist. So I really do believe everyone's an artist, that art is a skill that develops with practice. And as a species, humans are innately creative. I think being an artist is not about innate talent. It's about intention and practice. So my fourth point on my art making manifesto is to develop through doing. Art is experiential. We have to do it to find out what we love. We have to try things out and follow our kind of curiosities and our interests, but we only discover who we are as artists through the doing. Experimentation equals discovery. The more we play, the more we can discover. The more we try things out and bring a kind of what if attitude to our art making. That theory of art as a laboratory, art making as a laboratory, is a really powerful one. It's about experimentation after experimentation after experimentation, being prepared to fail, being prepared to try things out, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work, and then gathering all that interesting data and information about your own art and then applying it to what you make next. Number 6 is be more weird. For me, I think it's really important to tune into the kind of weird quirks and the unusual combinations and sensibilities that we all have. And the more we bring ourselves to our art, I think the better it is and the better able we are to connect with others. You know, I really celebrate and embrace the weirdness and the oddness and the things that are a little bit quirky about me and my art. And I think that can be what makes our art a reflection of us. So be more weird. All weirdos welcome. Number 7, inspiration is everywhere. As I go through my day, I try and find inspiration everywhere, in the shapes and the colours and the textures and the patterns of day-to-day life. And I find the more I look and the more I seek, the more I find. So process over perfection. And really, this is about finding a way of creating art that we relish and we find exciting and interesting, rather than concentrating too much on the outcome. Of course, I want my art to look good, but if I'm really trying to create a masterpiece, that level of pressure never works for me. You know, the gap between reality and expectation is then too high. So if I can go into my art making with the sense that I want to play, discover, find things out, enjoy the process, then often the outcome is better anyway. So it's this wonderful virtuous circle. So that's for me, process over perfection. And my last point on my manifesto is delight yourself first. You know, I think it's really important to love what we create, to do more of what we love, to love our own artwork. So part of that is being really particular and tuning into and articulating what you love in your own art and doing more of it. So delight yourself first. And that's also about not trying to please other people, not trying to make art that I think will please other people or might sell well or any of those things. I find that if I can create art that I love, that delights me, then it tends to delight other people. That has been my experience. So that is my manifesto. And your manifesto might be really different. You might believe completely different things. But I just wanted to share an idea with you that actually it can be very helpful to write these things down. And I have it stuck up on my wall, and it's just a little reminder to myself, and I find it helpful. It's like a studio buddy that when I'm working away, or sometimes I put it in my sketchbook, and it just gives me a little pep talk when I'm in need of a pep talk. So think about what you believe to be true, write it down, and then put it somewhere where you can see it. And it will keep reminding you of the things that you know to be true, but sometimes you need reminding of.